Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Raimondo, for your tremendous work and for being here today. I wanted to go back to the citizenship question that was mentioned earlier. As you know well, and you alluded to, the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state. I know that you and the public servants who lead the Census Bureau take this mandate from the Constitution seriously. Is there any agency in the federal government that keeps track of non-citizens?
You have stumped me, Congresswoman.
I assume,
I think,
like the U.S.
yeah, I mean, not, not certainly in my remit, no.
And why is the practice of counting every person living in each state needed to produce an accurate and full census?
Because as you well know, and every governor knows, and I know this from being governor, the census is just about getting information, right? So how much housing is required in a particular state? How much, how many people are going to be in the schools? And that's why I bristle at any, political interference, frankly, from either side as it relates to the census. It's like, just the facts, ma'am. So we have experts collect, as you say, follow the Constitution, every person. Undercounting is a problem because it's an inaccurate picture of what's going on in every state and what kind of public safety services are needed, what kind of educational services are needed. If people are afraid because of their immigration status to talk to the census counter, we're not going to get an accurate number, and that inaccuracy prevents us from doing the best job we can at running government at the state level and the federal level.
And if we were to violate what the Constitution has charged the Census Bureau to do, would that potentially affect the amount of federal funding that a state could receive?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. I wanted to also thank you for your department's recent action on regulating licenses for firearms experts. I know that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are extremely concerned, as we are, about the threats posed by transnational criminal networks and adversarial governments. So I must say that I'm confused by their opposition to their proposed change. I want to ask if this rule will keep American guns out of the hands of drug traffickers.
We hope it will. That's certainly its intention, and that's how we're going to enforce it. I'll say I was recently in Costa Rica, a region of great instability, and the president there was, they are a democracy. They're trying to develop their economy, and that's good for the United States to have an ally with a thriving democracy in that region. Contrast that with, say, Ecuador. So we're doing this, again, not for political reasons, but for our own foreign policy. It's not in our interest for drug traffickers, terrorists, murderers, people interested in fomenting instability and destroying democracy to have guns.
And will this rule decrease the number of American guns in the hands of foreign terrorists and transnational criminal organizations?
Yes, we believe that it will.
And will this rule make our world and our country safer?
Yes, we believe it will.
And finally, how will the funding that the Department of Commerce has requested for fiscal year 2025 enable the Bureau of Industry and Security to continue its work of protecting our national security, especially as it relates to gun violence?
We are asking for additional funds for more analysts, more technologists, more data sets, more technology, and more enforcement agents. So, we can have the best policy in the world, but if we don't have enough people to enforce it, we're not going to be effective.
Thank you. I yield back.